All right, we're going to discuss and get more analysis on all of the goings-on. We're now joined via Zoom by political analyst Thobani Zikalala. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon, Sis Flo. Good afternoon to your viewers. I'm honored to be here.
You're most welcome. Let's then talk about this. I mean, what do you make of what's been perceived as a delay? And I mean, the president's spokesperson rightly says it's not a delay. There's never been a date that was set in the first place for the president to reshuffle. But certainly it seems as though, many South Africans are sort of getting impatient when it comes to the issue of the reshuffle. What do you make of it? And also, on one hand, we're hearing that the president is sick. On the other hand, we're hearing that he's actually not sick. In fact, Philip Mbalula says, I was there, I saw him, he's sick. And Vincent Ngwenye's spokesperson saying, no, he was all right. He's still able to do all the things that he does. And as we can see, he's at the auction. What do you make of all that's going on?
I think for me, anyone who says that the delay, there is no delay, is misleading the nation. Is misleading the nation in this way, Flo, is that when the president declared, in particular with the Minister of Electricity, when the president had announced that a state of national disaster had been declared, and the Minister of Electricity, who he is going to appoint, will be critical in the coordinating of all activities with regards to government's effort to deal with the crisis in energy. In that instant, the president indicated to us that the appointment of the Minister of Electricity was not only pertinent and important, but also needed to happen as quickly as possible. So anyone who then says to the nation that there is no delay, and because there's never been a set date, it's just doing a bit of spin doctoring. It's the same thing again, Flo, with this idea that the president is sick, the president is not sick, with one person saying the president is sick, I saw him, the other one saying no, he was not too sick. It's spin doctoring, because Vincent comes because there's been these pictures of the president in an auction, in one of his auctions in his farms, that show that the president, even though he has been reported to be sick, but is continuing to be working somewhere else. But of course, we know, Flo, and it's not from us, but we've heard the president when he was addressing the Angola Society, that the job of him being the president of the Angola Society is a favorite job for him. Whether that job is more important than the job of coordinating and leading this state, we don't know at this point. But it shows that on one side, the president seems not to respect this nation in a way that says, because there's a crisis, because there are vacancies as government, we've got no deputy president, the Minister of Transport is now SG of his party. These appointments in the cabinet needs to happen so that government can continue with its more critical job of delivering services to our nation and making sure that we solve the issue of energy.
Well, it is inevitable that there needs to be some sort of, cabinet reshuffle or changes, whatever that they want to call it. At what point are we likely then, in your mind, to see this? I mean, you can't delay the inevitable. At the end of the day, it will happen. So, what are your views in terms of how long this can actually be stretched out? I mean, now we're hearing these. He's got a flu, he's got a cold, all of this stuff. You can't delay it any further than it is already. So, when do you, in your mind, when do you think that we'll start to hear about those changes?
I believe that the president has done proper consultations that he needed to make. I believe the president has also consulted even those who may not be leadership of the party, but who are critical in making sure that his presidency and his leadership of this country is intact and is solid enough. I think he's done all those consultations. If we do not see appointments in the following week going into, I think we may just forget about these appointments being made, because what we are hearing is that the swearing in of Godongwana as a member of parliament was part of the president trying to manage the process of him making the appointments that he needs to make, because he is going to make an appointment, as we hear, he's going to make an appointment in the Minister of Electricity, who is who's not currently a member of parliament. This is why he needed to manage that process of making sure that one of the two people who are not members of parliament is able to be sworn in, which is apparently this is where the so-called Chris Kabal came in, to make sure that that process is managed. So if we do not see an appointment in the following week, then the president will show to us that he is not serious. But according to what we hear, the announcement is inevitable. This week could be the week where we finally know who are the appointments that are going to be made.
Yeah, and something quite interesting is, of course, the changes in chairmanship of the ANC Integrity Commission. Are we likely to see changes in how, and we're speaking about Phala today, but are we likely to see a change in the approach and how the Phala issue is, handled by the ANC, given this, or is it just something that is happening just on the side, or really directed at making sure that this issue is dealt with in a different way?
The problem of the Integrity Commission flow has never been, for me, who is at the helm as the most critical issue. It's structuring, and whether does it have enough power to be able to bring people into account. For me, it came out as a body where people could come to manage the aftermath of actions that had happened in public. It does not come out as a very good, critical, powerful accounting body inside the ANC. So for me, whether the chairperson is Dr. Frank Chikane, or whoever it is, the most critical issue is how does the ANC strengthen the Integrity Commission to be a commission that is able to bring people into account and make sure that wrongs are corrected. How the ANC has dealt with issues like the Phala issue has shown that the ANC may not be serious about bringing people into account. For example, Flo, the ANC, the parliament decided to commission a report or an investigation in what has been alleged as wrongdoing that happened with each member of parliament and each state and the state president. When that report is brought before parliament, instead of the parliament welcoming the report and putting in processes to make sure that further investigations are done so that whatever we need to know about the issue is brought to bear. No, the parliament doesn't do that. Parliament rejects the report, then it's commissioned itself. For me, that puzzled me, how a parliament could commission a report. When the report comes, the very same parliament rejects it. But also it shows that the ANC itself and whatever structure that it sets up within its party, some of them it's not serious about making sure that such structures work. It's a matter of trying to manage public image so that people see the ANC as being serious in fixing some of its internal issues and some of the wrongdoing that is alleged to be done by its members and its leadership.
All right, Mr. Zikalala, great indeed having you on the show. Thank you so much for giving us your input. We certainly do appreciate it here on SABC News. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it too. I hope I see you again soon.
You're most welcome. Thank you, sir. That is political analyst Thobani Zikalala.